What's up, everybody? Brian with you from TheGameCommon, and we are back doing another AI-only championship series. So, we're a little ahead of schedule on this. I think I talked about maybe doing another championship series come this summer, but with the coronavirus basically shutting down the entire United States, and because of that, I basically have no work for the next 2 months. It's like, alright, I guess let's go ahead and get another championship series going. So, for the time being, we're going to go ahead and do another championship series, and I'm excited for it. So, if you're new to the channel or you haven't seen one of the previous championship series, this will officially be our 4th championship series. And essentially what happens is we put every civ that is in the game, we compete them against each other, we break them down into individual groups, and we basically autoplay the game, let the AI compete against each other, and then the top civs from every group then go into the knockout rounds, and the knockout rounds then go into the final 4, and then the final 4 last time turned into the final 2, and eventually we crown a winner, a champion of all of Civ 6 in our AI-only championship series. So, we mentioned that this is our 4th one. We've had some surprising victors, even though you have some really powerhouse civs in the game, like especially Russia generally does really well in this. Russia is yet to win an AI-only championship series. Our first winner was Brazil, which was awesome. Then our second winner was Mongolia, which is a little more of a powerhouse, so that one seemed kind of fitting. But then our last championship series, which was just a couple months ago, was just absolutely crazy. We had the weirdest final 4. I ended up going back today and looking. We had Gorgo, Wilhelmina, and then both Indias, Chandragupta and Ghandi, were in the final 4, with Ghandi prevailing as the victor. And like, India, in my opinion, is one of the weaker civs in the game, and honestly, all 4 of those civs are probably near the bottom, so it was just absolutely crazy how it ended up happening, that we ended up having those 4 as our final 4. So, we're going to go ahead and launch into the groups. We have some very fancy graphics coming down the pipe today, which I'm really excited about, but the mod we're using, and I'll have this linked in the description below, is the Better Spectator mod. They've actually updated it since we created December 31st, 1969. Dang, dude. Wow, they're really on the game. But anyways, they've updated it since the last AI-only championship series, and I was just kind of running it just to make sure there was no bugs or anything like that, and I'm like, dude, it's pretty cool now, so I'm excited for that. But yeah, let's go ahead and throw these are top-of-the-line graphics, paid high dollar for. Boom. So there are our 5 groups. I actually had some comments talking about that, and someone mentioned, hey, you should split the groups up based on Rise and Fall, Gathering Storm, and base game, and I was like, that's actually a really great idea. So there were 27 civs originally, actually, yeah, I think there were 27 civs originally, and then there were 9 Rise and Fall civs and 10 Gathering Storm civs, but there were 2 Eleanors, so I basically flipped a die, and we ended up, as you can see, number 2 in Group 5, you can't see my mouse anymore, but we ended up with Eleanor as France. Then for the first 3 groups, so essentially that was Group 4, Group 5. Group 4 is all the Rise and Fall civs, Group 5 is all the Gathering Storm civs. Group 1, 2, and 3, I basically took the 27 civs and broke them into 3 groups. I ended up using a website. What was that website again? In case you guys want to do it. Random Civ 6 generator is what I Googled. It's called civdrafter.com, and you can basically put how many players one will receive. Actually, you know what? Here. Yeah, so you'll see this website here. You can define how many players you have. So we did 9 per group. Each player gets 1 civilization. Then we wanted to turn off both Rise and Fall and Gathering Storm. And then it basically gave us 9 random civs for each group. So our first group was Poland, Aztec, Japan, Persia, Khmer, Egypt, Victoria, Scythia, and Sumeria. Group 2 was America, Australia, Macedonia, Gorgo, Indonesia, Ghandi, Brazil, Spain, and Arabia. And then Group 3 was China, Catherine, Germany, Pericles, Kongo, Norway, Nubia, Rome, and Russia. I really haven't spent too much time looking at any of these civs, or any of these groups, so I can't really sit here and be like, oh, this group's going to be really good, that group's going to be really good. I mean, I just kind of like threw everything in there. I think when I was putting it in, Group 2 looked rather interesting to me just because of America, Australia, Macedonia. all three of those civs tend to be pretty good when it comes to the AI only, just because here's the thing: if you've never seen any AI only championship series, the aggressive civs tend to play better. That's why Korea, honestly, even though they're probably the most overpowered civ in the game, generally has not had a good run when it comes to the AI only series, because the AI is not as aggressive as, for example, in America. Because America generally, Teddy, is usually very science focused, usually very aggressive in declaring wars, and honestly, that aggression generally benefits. I would say 80% of the time works out for them. Now, Teddy's never won the AI only series, because what ends up happening with super aggressive civs is eventually they have a game in which they declare war on one of their neighbors, they can't conquer anything, and it just kind of sets them back permanently. Which is why it was rather interesting that Mongolia won the second one, because I was actually kind of rooting for Mongolia by the end of that, because it was like, I really want to see an aggressive civ actually win it and go all the way through, because in the first AI only series, Mongolia just dominated. They absolutely just kicked butt the entire time until it got to the finals, and then Brazil ended up sneaking out the finals. But anyways, we have the first one ready to go. We're going to go ahead and create game, advanced setup, load configuration, 2020, group 1, let's go. And you can see we're the spectator, and then we have Poland, Montezuma, Japan, Cyrus, Khmer, Egypt, Victoria, Tomris, and Gilgamesh. Now, this is another really good group now that I look at it. Persia is one of my favorite civs in the game. I think they're one of the best civs in the game, but the AI doesn't play them well because they don't use the immortals to the best of their ability. But still, Cyrus tends to do pretty good because they generally get a lot of culture. By the way, we leave on all... Oh, that's the one thing I got to do. I got to do a custom turn timer. And I think we do 320, or is it 315? I think we do 315. Or do we? Or do we do 200? I think it's 315. Because here's the thing. No one's ever going to really win a score victory. Or actually, sorry. No one's ever going to necessarily win any of these other victory types before like 350. And by the time like turn 300 rolls around, it just gets so slow. So we kind of just do a turn limit at 315. And usually whoever's just absolutely dominating in score is generally the one who's going to end up winning. But anyway, Cyrus... using generally a lot, but he tends to be pretty okay because he gets a lot of culture. But Gilgamesh, obviously, Tomris, obviously, Montezuma, and Japan, all four of those are really good civs. This might actually be the strongest group, and you could even say Cleopatra is up there as well, because she tends to have a pretty high military because she likes people with a high military. So this is going to be a pretty crazy group. I feel kind of bad for Victoria and Poland because they are just in a baller group here. Oh, and then Khmer. It's gonna be an interesting one. There's a random seed, there's a map seed. We leave on all the different victory types. If we wanted the AI to be a little more aggressive, we could turn off everything except score and domination, and then they will build a little more in the military, but I'm not a huge fan of that. We're also running on deities, so they're going to get all their boosts for disaster intensity, just because I like watching the world burn. And then we did regular map size. Resources are fine as standard. Star positions are fine as standard. Actually, you know what? Let's do balanced. I don't know if it's going to make a difference, but yeah, we're going to go ahead and load into this game, and then I will put a cut here, and we'll be right back. All right, let's load into the game, see what the map looks like. So the one thing I hate about this mod is every single turn, the fog of war kind of pops up and goes away, and it's kind of annoying. But this mod works pretty well because we were using another mod at the beginning of the last AI only series, and one of the downsides with that mod was the fact that all of the AI could see all of the territory, and because of that, it basically just broke some of the AI. So at any time, I can actually click on, for example, Gilgamesh, and I can see what Gilgamesh can see, which as right now isn't a whole lot, or I can click on myself and see the entire world. Now, the other thing that's new about this mod is you can see we can actually see what tech and what civic everyone's currently researching, which is going to be rather interesting. So everyone's going for pottery, but we have both Poland and Khmer going for astrology, which means they're probably going to go grab that religion here pretty quickly. Then we can look at their yields and see what they're currently making. That's cool. Then let's see, Empire. Ah, that's cool. It shows what age they're in, as well as... Oh, their era score, that's really cool, as well as their government type. And then army, shows what kind of military they have. So Gilgamesh actually has a smaller military right now than everyone else. Or we could just go over score and see what everyone else normally looks at, which is weird because they're, oh wait, no, it's 100. Yeah, it's a little weird. So I guess he's not building as much military as everyone else. I wonder if that's because he popped out the ziggurats early on, which he should have then some pretty high... Now he's at 7 of 11. Montezuma's at 16 to 25. Like, what the heck did he do? He had his unique... I wonder if he got his unique building up as well. He got his unique unit. That's going to be the same thing here with Sumeria. He'll have his unique unit. Now, everyone's moving really slow, but I'm not concerned about that until we talk about everything. So, barbarians are turned on. Sometimes barbarians go crazy. We'll see how it affects the game. But for now, I think it's fine to leave it on. We have Hattusa up there. We have Nazca over there. And then we have Scythia over here on the west coast. So they actually have pretty decent amount of room over here, in addition to being surrounded by city-states. Then Khmer is down south all by themselves. They have a whole freaking butt ton of room here. But they will have to worry about Scythia. And it looks like Scythia is actually going to forward settle them. Then across the small-ish strait, we have Persia. By the way, we're playing on random map type, or on shuffle map. I forgot to mention that, just because I like the idea of just having complete random map types. Oh, England's currently already at war with Poland, and it looks like Poland might be able to take Sheffield. Well, here's the thing. It's going to flip eventually. Does Poland have enough combat strength? Actually, I'm going to say no. With the extra warriors popping out here, I think they're going to be able to survive it. I don't know if Poland's going to bring the extra troops, though, in to help. Then Montezuma spawned down in the Arctic, which is really bad news for him. That's not good. That is not good. Egypt is up north with 3 cities down as well. Is that England's 3rd city? That is England's 3rd city. Poland is bringing in reinforcements. Right now, Egypt is not really attacking, though, with their reinforcements. So we're going to keep an eye on that. Then Sumeria is kind of up here, smack dab in the middle, with Japan up on the northeastern side. And there was no one over here on this island right now. So there is actually quite a bit of room here for everyone to grow. How goes the attack? It looks like Sheffield is going to officially fall. Yeah, they're going to fall. Wow, that's crazy. So England immediately loses one of their cities to Poland. Poland, the super aggressive civ. You know how that works. Totally. Wow, that's crazy. Is England going to be able to take it back? Nope. And worse than that, they might lose the builder here. No, they're going to hold on to that builder if they run it away. But yeah, England is definitely set back. So, oh, and then Persia's over here. I don't know if we mentioned that. But one of the things that happens a lot in this game is if early on, one of these civs loses a city and or gains a city, it really just kind of snowballs from there. So the fact that England ended up losing a city pretty much almost guarantees that they're not going to get enough score to be in the top 3. It's a little too early to say that for sure, but I mean, it's a hard comeback. We've only seen it happen a couple times, I think, for a civ to come back from that. Now, Sumeria has the war carts up, but they don't really have anyone to conquer, which is, you know, kind of disappointing. The other thing to mention is there's going to be a lot of golden ages, I think, here early on, just because so many early units. Yeah, we got golden age. Wait, no, next means... Yeah, I think that means they're currently queued up for a golden age. So right now, only Khmer, England, and Poland are getting a dark age. And the funny thing is, neither of them have a unique unit this early in the game. So having an early game unique unit is kind of crazy. Dude, can we talk about how terrible that How Long Bay is? Oh man, that sucks. That really does suck. So if I search, is it going to screw this up? Like if I go Natural Wonder and just see where they are, is this turn loading going to mess it up? I think it will. And the other downside with this map, or this mod, is I can't pause the game, which is really unfortunate. So I kind of have to just quit the game in between every series. All right, what's happening up here? We got bronze working. We got horseback riding for Tomris. Yeah, that makes sense. Celestial navigation for Victoria makes sense. Cyrus and Hojo are also bronze working. And then we got wheel for a couple others with Jadwig going for bronze working. Now, is anyone... Bronze working is iron. Yeah, I was going to say. I wonder if Tomris has researched that. I don't think so yet. What is the science looking like right now? Yeah, Gilgamesh has a huge science lead, which is generally what's going to happen. And any AI that has a huge science lead generally is, once again, I'm using generally, I know way too much, but it helps a lot because it's just going to keep them ahead of everyone else, and it helps them be a little more aggressive, or at least it helps their aggression be a little more successful would be probably the best way to say it. Is anyone else at war? Yes, Egypt and Aztec are currently at war. This is kind of bad for Egypt because I don't see any of their unique units, and those Eagle Warriors are all potentially very, very scary. Nekin is probably going to end up flipping. Now, the downside is it's going to have loyalty issues, almost certainly. So we'll see if it flips right back. I don't think Antioch is in on this war. Can I look and see city-states? I can look here. Nah, no suzerains. No one has any suzerains yet, which makes sense. Makes sense. We do need to go ahead and crank up the speed here, though, on this. Quick combat. Let's go ahead and enable quick movement. Enable. This is going to get a little poppy when it comes to the fog of war, which I apologize for, but there's just no way to do it, or to do it without it. Can I click on these guys without everything getting screwed up? No. So I actually can't see. Well, I guess if I click on him, I can see who he's at war with, and so on and so forth. So Poland is still at war with Victoria. Montezuma is at war with Cleopatra. I don't think anyone else is at war from what we can tell. I wish there was a quick way to see that. Let's see. Khmer and Scythia are probably going to end up hating on each other. And actually, wait, what's... Oh, those are barbarians. They're just different colored barbarians. They're English colored barbarians. Okay, then. Yeah, they know of each other, but they're not at war with each other. Let's look at I want to see iron here. Who's making iron right now? No one's actually making iron yet. So even though they finished bronze working, well, some of them finished bronze working, they hadn't quite grabbed it yet. England is still trying to take back her city, and ironically has a connection now through the water. The downside is she's never going to be able to hold on to that city, and I'm not sure why you ended up putting a city there to begin with. I guess for the aluminum, but that's such... Yeah, whatever. I mean, it's so much better of a city over here, right? Anyways, Aztecs did end up taking Nekin, which we knew was going to happen, but there's no way they can take Rock Cadet, and Nekin is going to flip back. So this isn't end of the world for Egypt, and really, Montezuma is still in a really bad spot here, just because he has so much desert he's looking at. Dude, all the different barbarian colors is just really kind of freaky, man. Really kind of freaky. Japan's rolling up here. They have all the room in the world to grow, so they're doing pretty good over there. Scythia still has a ton of room as well. And I know, it's never going to ever have, like, perfectly balanced game. Like, there's always going to be randomness, and there's always going to be advantageous starts. But, you know, quite frankly, that's just part of the game. It's part of Civ 6. And so we try getting rid of it and try making it as balanced as possible, but it's just not always going to happen. So, Khmer's trying to end up settling right over here. I don't know there's a whole lot of room over here. There is some room on the coast. We'll see how that ends up working out. Ancient Era is about to end. Okay, Persia is growing over here coastally. We have a lot of long, snaky empires right now. Now, Uruk ended up getting sieged down, probably by barbarians, but how did they get there? Huh, interesting. And the funny thing is, Sumeria is kind of weak when it comes to troops. He's only at 204 right now. Cyrus is rolling, which I guess isn't that weak. Probably because he has a lot of troops way over here. Oh, he ended up conquering Poland City. Oh, we missed that. Yeah, he ended up declaring war on Poland. And he ended up taking one of the cities, but it ended up flipping because of loyalty. Ooh, that's interesting. I wish we could just turn off loyalty as a system. It would be, I think, a lot more fun for these AI-only series. I know I could run, like, probably the base game or maybe just Gathering Storm without the Rise and Fall rule set, but I also like the idea of governors and stuff like that, so that's why we run the rule set, even though, yeah. Because the AI really gets punished because the AI doesn't understand loyalty. And, hey, conquering that city right there is probably not a good idea. It would have been better just to raise it, just to hurt your opponents. So keep in mind, Poland conquered a city, but then got conquered. Rather interesting. We'll see how that affects the game here as we progress. Persia's really trapped in. You could potentially reach some Sumerian lands. You also might be coming over here and declaring on England before too long, so we got to keep an eye on that. It looks like you guys might be at war with each other, or you might have just been joint killing barbarians. Most likely when the AI spawns right next to each other, they're going to end up hating each other. Japan still just has infinite amounts of room over here. And Egypt still has a lot of room as well. Nekin has not flipped back to them, but it is a neutral city again. England has not been able to take over Sheffield, even though they have a lot of ships in the water. Ships in the water. Okay, so we got a new era. Let's see what everyone ended up in. So that is under Empire. Current Golden Age. So Gilgamesh, you know, it's probably easier to look here. So everyone except Khmer, Egypt, and England got a Golden Age. Is that going to make a difference? I don't think so. Scythia is now currently... Are you still fighting barbarians? Yeah, you're still fighting barbarians. Barbarians are aggressive, man. But I don't think that's going to affect Khmer. Looks like you put your city a little further south, so Khmer should be fine on that. England won't have too many issues right now either. Egypt may be a little slower for Neckin to flip to you. Actually, it might not be flipping at all. Is it? Yeah, it is flipping, so it's going to go right back. And in fact, she kind of pushed back Montezuma. What's the military looking at right now? So Arme, Cleopatra's 253, Montezuma's 204. So she's got a slightly more powerful military right now. We are going to go a little longer on this episode. Normally I keep them around 20-25 minutes, but because this is the first episode and because I spent so long talking about it, we're going to let it go a little bit longer. Man, Scythia's looking scary. What's the score looking like right now? Japan in first place, Thomas in second, Poland is in third, even though they lost the city with Montezuma in 4. So we're going to take the top 3 from every group, and then we'll put everyone else in the second chance series. And I got to figure out how many we're going to take from that. So that's going to give us 15 civs. We might go up to 20, I think. So we might just take 5 from second chance. But anyways, so remember, top 3 make it, no one else makes it. Now, okay, on the off chance someone wins a science victory, so let's say Gilgamesh ends up winning a science victory and he's like way down here in the middle, which is kind of unlikely. Generally, if they're going to win one of the victories, they're going to be in top 3. What happens at that point? Well, what happens at that point then is we're going to stop the game right there, and whoever is in the top 2 spots then is going to move on with whoever ended up winning the game. Now, on the off chance someone wins an early religious victory, which never happens, or someone wins a cultural victory or something like that, that's what we'll end up doing. But now the thing is, I don't think the game actually ends. We got to be careful. Like when we hit turn 315, I think the game just keeps ticking. So we got to, we don't get like an ending screen, if I remember correctly. I don't know. Or if someone wins a religious victory, I don't think we get an ending screen. So we just got to keep an eye on the scores and stuff like that as things progress. But we got some time. So let's see, we got some iron working. What, do we have any iron being generated yet? Army. Yo. Army, yes. So Thomas has some horses. Gilgamesh has some iron. Khmer and Cyrus have some iron, as does Japan and Montezuma and Poland. So essentially, Egypt's the only one without iron right now. Oh my gosh, flooding. Whew. The Nile. Is that the Nile? That's not the Nile. Dang, that'd be so disappointing. That should be the Nile, man. But absolutely getting completely wrecked. Montezuma has now moved on to Leventa, which is probably okay. Poland is pushing now. They're settling right on top of England. England's completely trapped in, and they really have to worry about Persia, and I think Persia just declared war on them too. So England is not looking too hot. Wait, Persia declared war on Japan? Huh? But why? But why? I guess he joint warred with Gilgamesh? I'm not quite sure. Also, Gilgamesh is getting absolutely destroyed by barbarians. He's gonna lose his city. Wow! Sherpak is about to go bye-bye, and that's one of his campuses gone. Wow! Goodbye, man. Goodbye. Also, wow, that's crazy. Okay, how are you guys doing over here? You guys still friendly with each other? Yeah, they still hadn't met anyone else, and they're still pretty friendly with each other. Still having some barbarian issues over here, but they're not in a terrible spot. But I can totally see England just getting completely wiped out here by Persia. And or Poland. Is Poland at war with you? No, but no one likes Poland. Aggressive Poland, man. Aggressive Poland. Egypt, what's happening here? You're still at war with Montezuma. Montezuma looks like... Actually, it looks like they're both going for Leventa now. Yeah, remember when Egypt lost one of their territories? They have just completely flipped the game. Completely flipped it. And what's Japan doing? Japan just has a bunch of barbarians up there. Not a whole lot happening up there. So, yeah. I think this is probably a great spot to stop the first episode. It's not that much longer than what I mentioned. Dude, the barbarians, dude. Rolling with freaking catapults. So... The threat on this barbarian encampment must have gotten super high. The fact that they're popping out with these catapults and swordsmen is just kind of crazy. And the other thing is Persia's like right up here as well. So I really feel like Persia's the wild card right now. If Persia declares war on England, I mean, England's just dead. If Persia declares war on Sumeria, Sumeria's just dead. I'm kind of disappointed. I love Sumeria. They're one of my favorite civs in the game, and I don't think they're going to be able to make it through this. They also have Japan now to worry about here. Persia, very strong start, and they just were not able to pull it through. They ended up coming over here and then taking that Poland city and then losing it, and then they just have not really managed to come back from that. Montezuma, also kind of the same situation, but their situation is a little more understandable because of the tundra. Now, Leventa is going to get taken over here by Egypt if you ever bring your warrior over there. If that happens, it's just going to flip over to Montezuma. England is still pushing back on Poland, but Poland has massive unit advantage, and they also have crossbows. I kind of wish I could default one of these other ones. I mean, Sumeria is still making crazy tech compared to everyone else. So he's not out of it. I shouldn't count him out of it. Just because he's like tripling or doubling everyone else's science. But his military is extraordinarily weak, and all it's going to take is one Gilgamesh declaration and it's GG. Looks like Persia declaration, and it looks like Persia's going for Bologna, which is some respite for Sumeria, because that means, I mean, as long as he's at war right now with, oh my gosh, as long as he's at war with Bologna, he's not going to declare war with Sumeria. And Bologna is going to be a hard take, just because of the mountains and stuff like that, although he is surrounding it, so maybe not. Does he have catapults? Yeah, he has a catapult. I don't know if he's going to be able to get it in range. And then, are you guys still peaceful over here? Yeah, they're still actually friendly with each other. So, all right. Well, we're going to wrap this episode up here. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, drop a like, comment. Let me know what you think. Let me know who you guys think is going to win the next AI-only championship series. And as always, drop a like. And I will see you guys in a later episode. So, later, everybody.